So in this video I'm going to walk you through what is Bloc. Bloc is a business logic. It is a predictable state management library for Dart, and we will use Bloc in our Flutter application development, wherein I will walk you through step-by-step procedure of how you can integrate Bloc in a Flutter application. Very first thing is we are using Visual Studio Code. I'm opening Visual Studio Code. So let me create a new application. For that you need to type Shift Command and P, select new project, and select the application. And in this you have to select in which folder you want to create the applications of the Bloc. So I'm randomly creating a new application folder here, and I'm selecting that folder. So here the name of the project I'm giving is Flutter Bloc Demo, right? So this is a brand new application. As we are already aware of, we are working with a Bloc. It is a state management library. Basically it manages the data within the application. What it does is it segregates the data and the presentation layer. As and when the data of the application changes, the presentation layer or the front end of the application changes. So this is majoritarily we have seen in many of the applications the data and the UI is closely coupled either in one single file, but in the Bloc we will segregate all the presentation layer with the backend layer with the help of states and the events. So here let me load the necessary libraries. I have to download a couple of libraries for this application. The command for this is flutter pub add flutter block, right? So still let me increase the font. So the Bloc library has been installed, and I will be requiring another library is flutter pub add equitable. So these two libraries have been already installed, and once after installing these two libraries you need to do flutter pub get. In case if you are confused about what these libraries are, you can anytime visit flutter.dev or pub.dev. This is the marketplace wherein you can download any libraries. So the library which we have downloaded here is Flutter Bloc, right? So let me search this library, and this is the search result, the Flutter Bloc. And if you go to this particular page, you can see how many likes, how many points, how many downloads, and again in the fourth tab you can see installing instruction. So flutter pub add flutter block, this is the line we have already used in our Visual Studio Code to install the different Flutter Bloc library. And you can even verify whether what version of the library has been installed. You can go to pubspec.yaml in the project explorer view, and you can go to the dependencies section. In the dependencies section we have these two packages installed. The first package is Flutter Bloc and the second package is Equitable, and this is the version of the package. It necessarily need not be same 9.1.1 or 2.0.7. In your case it might be different depending on the time you will be installing these two libraries on your development environment. So very starting point of our application is the main.dart. This is the heart of our application wherein our application starts to execute. Before starting or before starting to develop the Bloc application, what I will do is I will show the initial output of this, the stub of the code, what we have received after completing or creating this application on the emulator. For that I have already started the emulator and I have kept it ready, and this is the iOS emulate simulator, and you can even run this on the Android emulator as well. On running on Mac and iPhone emulator or the simulator is quite quick. I have already started it. In case if you want to start your own emulator, you can always press Shift Command P. You can select launch emulator, and whichever the emulator you want to launch you can select, and this emulator will be launched. And this emulator I have already on my screen. This particular emulator I will be using for the testing the application which I'll be creating. So again, you press Shift Command P. Here the select device. Out of all the devices, which one are running will be shown here. I have iPhone 15 Pro already start up and running. I'll select this particular device to run this application on, and then I'll select Shift Command P, otherwise Shift Command D. It will show you run and debug, right? So once you press run and debug, this application, what you are able to see on the Visual Studio Code, will be executing on this iOS simulator, but it takes time depending on your the hardware, depending on your internet speed. It takes some time. Meanwhile, what we will do is we will try to add a couple of other libraries as well, which we might require while developing our applications on. So the next library we'll be requiring is I'll clear this terminal. So the next library we'll be requiring is Flutter pub. Okay, Flutter pub add hydrated block. So let me explain why hydrated block is required. Hydrated block is required for persisting the app storage even after the app goes background or app killed, and if we are bringing the app forefront, then the hydrated block plugin is required. So in case if you are not killing the application, if you are in the application, if you are maintaining the application without killing or sending it background, then the hydrated block is not required. So we will show you how to make a transition from the Flutter block to hydrated block and back from hydrated block to Flutter block. The same way you can download the hydrated block, the way I have shown you in the Flutter pub.dev. Here also you can go and search. Here you can search, instead of Flutter block, hydrated block. So all the detailed information about the hydrated block is available, and the installation instruction is also available here, how to install the Flutter hydrated block. Along with, you can also check a couple of examples how to use the hydrated block. These examples are very much handy in case if you are very new to any one of the packages on the Flutter pub.dev. So coming back, we have already this application up and running. This is the very stub of application gets created whenever you create the new Flutter applications. So this is the default application which I am running on my iPhone simulator. So if you click on bottom plus button, this counter getting incremented. The same thing I can show, the same thing how this particular application can be built by using Bloc. That is the other part, but it takes a couple of hours. We will continue how to integrate the hydrated block, Flutter block to this initial application in the coming videos. Thank you all.